What's going on, guys? It's Riverisco. Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're going to be going over my personal favorite top 10 spells in the 2014 Player's Handbook. I want to specifically focus on the 2014 Player's Handbook spells to showcase how useful and cool just the basic spells were and are. Cantrips will be their own video, and in other videos I'll cover additional spells that we got. But for now, we're just looking at the 2014 Player's Handbook. This is going to be a fairly short video, but nevertheless, I think it's going to be fun to talk about some really fun spells and kind of show you how I play spellcasters. Now, before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe to help out a new D&D channel. While you're doing that, you might as well comment your personal favorite spell in the 2014 Player's Handbook. Even if I cover it on here, tell me the reason why it's your favorite. And if this is your first video here, please feel free to watch my other Ode to a Golden Age videos, playlist in the icon above. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. 10. Fireball. It's a classic, and it's so powerful and fun to cast. With all the memes of I didn't ask how big the room was and whatnot, have, I think, really helped to make this spell not only a core take for a lot of spellcasters who take it because of the damage, but also just because of the instant recognition of the spell itself. So of course it has to make the top 10. A 3rd level spell with a range of 150 feet, hitting a 20-foot radius area, and anything in that area must make a dex saving throw. On a failed saving throw, they take 8d6 fire damage, and on a succeed, they take half of that. It will also catch anything flammable in the area on fire, and that fire will spread. It can also be upcasted, adding 1d6 for each spell slot above level 3. So if you cast this at a 6th level spell, then you will add 3d6 bonus fire damage. This is a truly devastating attack that can take out both friend and foe. And remember, the most powerful wizard is one that has fireball and is scared of everything. 9. Featherfall. Probably one of the best and safest takes for spellcasters, allowing you to fall safely to the ground from any height that takes less than a minute to fall from. A level 1 spell that can be cast as a reaction, slowing the speed of up to 5 falling creatures within 60 feet of the caster. The spell lasts for 1 minute or until the creature reaches the ground. So that does mean if you're trying to jump down a giant chasm, and you're going ledge to ledge, you'll have to recast at each ledge. 8. Scrying. Scrying is an amazing 5th level spell that lets you choose a creature on the same plane as you and watch as if you were there with them using an invisible sensor. The targeted creature must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target. If the target is aware you are scrying, they may choose to fail the saving throw and let you scry on them. However, if they are not aware or do not wish for you to scry on them and are successful, then they are not affected and you cannot cast that spell for 24 hours. If they fail, you can scry on them for 10 minutes and must stay with the targeted creature within 10 feet. You may also use scry on a location with no saving throw, and the sensor appears at the location but cannot move. 7. Blur. This one's going to be a very short segment, but Blur is another extremely handy and useful tool for spellcasters. It's a 2nd level spell that is a concentration spell and lasts for up to 1 minute. During this time, your whole body then becomes blurred for anyone to see. All creatures attacking will have disadvantage on attacks, only being immune to this effect if they do not rely on sight to attack, or if they have the ability to see through illusions. 6. Speak with animals. If you've seen my other Ode to a Golden Age videos, then you will know that I love nature in D&D, and this spell is a huge part of that. It is amazing for role-playing, allowing you to form even a tighter bond with your pet companion, or allowing you to interrogate a rat in a house where a murder took place. The spell lasts for 10 minutes and lets you do just as it says, speak with animals. where you can understand and speak back to any and all animals. Most animals are not all that intelligent, so they struggle to remember anything that happened over a day ago. It is, however, possible to persuade an animal to do something for you. 5. Shield. You'll notice that I like taking very defensive spells as a spellcaster. I usually let my cantrips do the talking for me, and use my spells as utility and defense. Shield is yet another defensive ability that is extremely good for spellcasters. I, even at a certain point in the campaign, end up saving all of my level 1 spells for Shield. It is a level 1 spell, which can be upcast with no additional effects. But as a reaction, you can summon an invisible barrier of magical force centered on yourself. This barrier gives you a +5 to your AC for the next attack that triggered the reaction, and any other attack for the next round. This spell has a special interaction with magic missiles, which doesn't technically roll to hit, it just automatically hits the target in sight. However, Shield lets you block all damage from magic missile once it is cast on you, if you use it as a reaction. 4. Hero's Feast. Now, this is the first spell where I'll actually talk about the components that go into casting the spell. For most spells, it's just saying words and moving your hands, but sometimes you add a random feather or a sliver of licorice root, which I haven't even mentioned yet because it's mostly a flair thing that can only impact your game slightly. Like if your hands are tied, it's hard to make hand gestures. However, Hero's Feast is a bit different. It has the normal requirements, but on top of that, there is the requirement of a gem-encrusted bowl that is worth at least 1,000 gold pieces. A very expensive feast, but with this feast, you give a great meal to your whole party. It takes a full hour to consume your meal, and then at the end of the hour, all food will disappear. It can feed up to 12 other creatures, so a total of 13. And any creature that partakes in the feast will be cured of all diseases and poisons, and then become immune to poison and being frightened. Any wisdom saving throws will be rolled at advantage, and their hit point maximum is also increased by 2d10, and they gain the same number of hit points. These benefits last for 24 hours. 3. Magic Missile. One of the best early game attacking spells you can have access to. It's a level 1 spell that can be upcast, adding 1 more dart per level. It is cast above level 1. Casting at level 1, you create 3 glowing darts of pure magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within 120 feet of you. All darts hit simultaneously, and you can direct them to hit one or multiple creatures, dealing 1d4 plus 1 of force damage. This is especially good because you do not roll to attack and you only roll for damage. So if you cast it at level 4, you can toss out 6 darts that all instantaneously hit one target, dealing a really respectable amount of damage. However, the ability to spread out that damage is probably the main reason this spell is so useful. 2. Misty Step. Yet another defensive spell, or at least can be used as such. This spell has hands down the least amount of text in this entire top 10 list. It is quite literally 1 sentence, which I will read out now. Briefly surrounded by silvery mist, you teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. It's instantaneous and only requires a verbal command. It can also be cast as a bonus action, which is why this spell is so useful in my mind. If an attacker closes the distance to the back line of the party, you can just Misty Step away, not even causing an attack of opportunity. And then you can still use your action to attack back. And then just the pure utility of this spell on top of all of that is actually very helpful and amazing. 1. Cure Wounds. Hands down, this is the most used spell in the game. So many classes get this spell, and it's just one of the better healing options early and mid game, especially in battle. It's a first level spell, and the only real downside is that you need to be able to touch the target you wish to heal. But most of the time, you can just jump in, heal, and jump back out of the fray. But when used, it heals 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. When you upcast this spell, it heals another 1d8 for each spell level above level 1 that it is cast at. This spell has 0 effect on undead or constructs. And on that note, that is the end of my top 10 spells in the 2014 Player's Handbook. Now, if you've made it this far, you are now part of the current. Welcome. I had a lot of fun writing this script. I did notice that I really love cantrips and wanted to keep tossing them into this video. But that again will be its own video, one I'm sure I'll get to soon. Probably right after I'm done the Giant's lore video, which will either be the next video or the video after that. With nothing left to say for this video, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.